So first off, I just want to tell you that if you are watching this video and the quality seems kind of fuzzy or bad, that is because the video was just uploaded to YouTube and it takes a little while for YouTube to process the video and make it its high quality definition. So I just wanted to let you guys know, because when I first put up a new video, the first like 300 comments are, why is this quality so much worse? Why don't you use your other camera? It's a YouTube thing where they have to process the video. So if you don't like the quality of the video, you can always leave and come back and watch it in a little while and it will be better quality. Okay, so before I start this video, I just want to let you guys know that there's a YouTuber named Zach George. I'll put all of his information in the sidebar. You can go click on his videos and everything if you're interested in what he does. And I found him because I was looking up ways that I can train my dog, Teddy. So here is my teddy bear, Teddy. He's a little Yorkie. And I wanted to personally ask you if you could help me with a trick. I didn't see this trick uploaded onto your channel, so I wanted to know if you could help me do this trick. And what it is I want to teach Teddy to be able to, I don't even know if this is possible. Like, I honestly don't know if you can possibly make a dog do this. But what I want him to be able to do is balance a treat on his nose and then flick it in the air and catch it. Can you do that? If you can, will you teach me how to do it? Like, even if you don't even do a video, even if you just email me and tell me, like, this is how you train him. But if you want to do a video, that would be really, really cool. And you could post it as a video response, and then everyone could see how I teach Teddy. And then if I teach him how to do it, I'm going to, like, film it and put it up on YouTube so that all of you can see Teddy do his trick. Because you have all seen Teddy do his trick where I taught him how to, like, spin on his hind legs to get a treat. So he, like, gets up and then he spins around and then he gets a treat. But I want him to teach him some more tricks. So if everyone will go to Zach George's YouTube page and post a comment either on a video of his or on his main channel and just be like, will you watch this video? And you can put my link, or if you can't put a link in the comments, just tell him that other Juicy Star 07 wants him to do this video, and will he please teach me how to make my dog balance a treat on his nose and then flick it in the air and catch it. If you don't mind, Zach, it would be like really sweet, because I love watching your videos and that's how I'm teaching my dogs. So I would really appreciate if you would like help me out by teaching me how to teach Teddy this awesome, maybe impossible trick. So today's video I want to talk about is Throughout the Years 3rd grade. If you haven't seen my Throughout the Years videos, I'll link them all in the sidebar. It's basically where you go through each year of your life and you talk about what happened that year. 3rd grade was actually a big year for me, and a lot happened. So here's what happened in my life during 3rd grade. I went to school on the very first day, and you know how a lot of teachers have pets? Like, maybe your teacher will have a pet hamster that's like the class hamster, or maybe even a rabbit. Like, rabbits are really cool. Well, here are the pets that my teacher had in cages when I walked into the room. She had a snake, she had a tarantula, she had 2 geckos, she had some sort of gerbil. I don't really know what it was. It was a hamster or a guinea pig or something like that. I don't know. It was just a little furry ball of like rodent, and that would be running around. And then later on throughout the year, she had tadpoles, which then turned into frogs. So it was really fun to be in that 3rd grade class because we had like the snake and the tarantula, whereas the other 3rd grade classes had fish as their pets. So it was like such an honor to be in this classroom, and I was so excited. So I was in 3rd grade when September 11th happened. I know you all know about it. I don't have to tell you what happened. But it kind of struck us hard, especially since there was a little boy that was in my class. I mean, he was the same age as me, so he wasn't a little boy at the time. But like now I think about it, and I knew him. He was in my class from 1st grade to 5th grade, and then I went off into a different middle school than he did. But so now looking back on him, the only memories I have of him are when he was a little boy. But he was in a wheelchair, and so he had a teacher aide that would like push him to all the classes, and she would help him like if he needed help copying down the notes that we were taking or anything like that. And the teacher's aide was always in our classroom. So what happened was the teacher's aide got a phone call and she walked out. And then she walked back in crying and she whispered something to my teacher. And then my teacher and the teacher aide walked out. So of course we were all like, party, we have the room to ourselves. And then both the teachers walked back in crying. And it was just something that like, I was in 3rd grade and they told us what happened. They basically told us that 2 like really important buildings in New York, a plane had been smashed into them and no one knew what was happening. So it was really soon after they told us what happened that a lot of the kids started getting picked up. And I was like, why are these parents coming to get their kids? You know, where is my mom and dad? And it turned out that about a 4th of the kids left and then 3/4 stayed at the school. And the parents, like, I guess no one knew what was going on in our country. Something was obviously happening. but no one had any idea. So some parents thought it would be safer to go get their kids from the school, whereas other parents thought that it would be safer to leave their kids at the school because the school probably had a plan for if something like tragic like this happened. But I remember that they were telling us, and all the teachers were crying, and all I could think about was it was about to be snack time before this happened, and there were cookies laid out. And we would have snack every day, and like someone would bring the snack for that day. And they brought cookies. And they had a lot of sugar cookies with white icing. And they had only like 6 that had pink icing. And I knew I had to get one with pink icing. Like I wasn't going to eat one if it had white icing. So this whole time the teachers are trying to explain to us in like little kid words what was happening, and they're crying, but we're all like, okay, you know, because we didn't know what was going on, you know. So all I was thinking was, okay, how am I going to get in the front of the line to get the pink cookie when they let us go? So I ended up getting a pink cookie, and there were actually a lot of pink cookies left over because everyone wanted white cookies, because I guess that's like more normal to have like a white cookie than like a pink cookie. So I got one of the pink cookies along with like 2 other girls, and the rest were just left. So I rode the school bus home that day, and I walk inside, and my mom and dad are both sitting there. And normally my dad would be at work when I got home. So I was like, what's going on? And my mom was crying, and my dad kind of was like sulking. And I was like, what is happening to the world? And they were like, well, actually. And they kind of showed me on the news, because I found out later that a lot of schools, when this happened, they turned on the news and let everybody know what was going on. But I guess since we were like in elementary school and we were really young, they didn't do that for us. But my mom let me see what was happening. And it finally struck me that this was something that was happening in our country that I should be aware about and I should care about. And it wasn't, you know, just some little building falling down. You know, I was worried when I was first told. I was just worried that the plane had crashed, because they said a plane crashed into a building. And I was like, oh my gosh, all those poor people on the plane. But I never thought about the people in the building. You know, in my head, I guess I thought the building was empty. Like, I didn't understand how a plane could crash into a building that was with people. Like, it just did not make sense to me. But September 11th happened, and that was like a huge change in our country and our life and everything that happened. So Elle had to go to a band concert, but she didn't want to do the band concert because she didn't like band, but the band instructor was making her do the band concert. So she was like, Mom, you have to get me out of band. Like, what am I going to do? And so my mom was like, oh, well, let's go to London. And she was like, okay. And they were kind of joking about it, so they looked it up and found out how much the tickets were. And basically, they were giving us the tickets to go to London. So me, my mom, and Elle went to London for about 4 days. Okay, so we were in London, and of course, we all wanted to go see all of the fun little touristy things. So we went to Buckingham Palace, and then we decided to go to Kensington Palace. So we go to Kensington Palace, we walk all through it. It's beautiful, we love it. And we go out back, and there's this huge lake that has a bajillion gazillion swans, and you can sit on these benches, and some of the benches were regular, and some of the benches had this little cover over it. So we all huddled up on one of the little covered benches so that we could get warm, and we were watching all of the gajillion bazillion swans, and we decided that we were going to take the tube back to the hotel. So we're walking to the little tube station place. I don't know what it's called. I guess it's like a tube station. I don't know. There's probably a name for like where you go when you want to get on the tube. So we're walking back, and it is so cold. So we passed a Starbucks on our way to the tube, and we were so cold. So we decided that we were going to go into Starbucks, and I was going to get a hot chocolate, and Elle was going to get a hot chocolate, and then Mom was going to get a coffee, and we would get all warm, then we would be able to walk to the tube station. So we're in there, and we order, and Mom reaches down for her purse, and all she has on her arm is a camera cord. And looking back on it, she said that she thought the camera, like what she was holding, was her purse. So she, you know, sees the camera, and she's like, oh, Elle, can I have my purse? And Elle's like, I don't have your purse. And they both look at me. And of course, I'm a little third grader, and I have my big coat on, and my gloves, and my hat, and my scarf. And I'm just standing there, and I'm like, can we go to the tube now? And so Mom starts freaking out, because you have to remember that it was right after September 11th, and this purse had everything in it. It had my passport, Elle's passport, Mom's green card, all of our cash money, all of my mom's credit cards. It had everything we needed to survive in a foreign country. So Mom said that she knew at that moment that if she could not find her purse, we would be stuck in London for a while, which, I mean, that would have been fine with me. But she tells us, and she says that looking back on this, this was one of her worst decisions, because she let her kids be alone in a random country in London, in the middle of London, while she's running to Kensington Palace. So she tells us that we are supposed to run behind her as much as we can, keep up with her, and it's not very far away. So we run, and then she says, you guys need to sit on the first bench you see at Kensington Palace, and I will find my purse. We have to get there before 5 because Kensington Palace is closing at 5, and I have to get my purse. So she runs there, and we get there after 5. It was like 5:03, and they won't let her in. So she starts running around, like, the pond area, and she was like, maybe I left my purse on the bench. But she couldn't remember what bench that we were sitting at. So she's running around, and she's all alone, and her kids are way on the other side of, like, Kensington Palace grounds, and this man in a suit starts walking towards her. And she said in her mind, she started thinking, like, oh my gosh, it's dark outside, I'm in a random country that I pretty much know nothing about. Where are my kids? Where are my kids? So she starts frantically, like, looking for us, you know. She's, like, in such a crazy state right now. And he says, I've got it. And she was like, oh gosh, what do you have? And so he was like, I have your purse. And I guess he could tell that she was, like, really worked up. And he was like, relax. So she was like, my kids. And he was like, you walk and get your kids, you know, it's fine. So she took the purse and she went to go find us, and he kind of followed behind, and he said, I want you to check and make sure that everything is in that purse, because if you are missing something, like if someone took it before I got there, you know, I want to make sure that you have everything you need, and I will help you get what you need. So she looks through it, our passports, her green card, our money, her credit cards, everything was in her purse. And that man had seen her purse an hour before on the bench and had sat there waiting, knowing that she was going to come running back looking for it. And he said, the second you turned around that corner and I saw you frantically running around, I knew it was your purse. And she didn't get his name. And she said that she was scared to get his name because she was scared to ask him for it, since she thought that he might think that maybe she was going to accuse him of stealing something and, like, report him or something. So she didn't get his name. So if anyone is from London and you maybe know a nice gentleman who would have been wearing a suit in Kensington Palace in 2000, and he found a lady's purse and he was really sweet and he gave it back to her, would you let him know to, like, email me so that my mom can give him a proper thank you? Because that's, like, she always talks about how it's, like, one of her biggest regrets that she, like, didn't thank him enough, because anyone could have found her purse and just taken it, just walked off. And we would have been, it would have been awful. So the first night we got into the hotel, we could see out of our window there was this Indian restaurant, and Mom really wanted to eat it, but she could not talk Elle and I into going to eat Indian food. We just didn't want to. We wanted pizza. We wanted, like, American food. We didn't want, well, pizza's not American, is it? No, it's Italian. Well, we wanted food that wasn't Indian. So one night, Mom's like, I have to eat this Indian food. It's staring at me through the window. So we opened the windows, and Mom left, and we locked the, like, hotel door and everything. We deadbolted it. We put the little thing that, like, even if they get through the deadbolt, they can't open the door because it, like, stops them. We put that thing up, and we sat in the window, and Mom went down to the restaurant, and she asked them if she could sit at the table right in front of their window. So we sat at the window, and Mom sat at the window eating her food all alone. I can't believe I made my mother go eat by herself. Like, now I would have gone with her and just not eaten and then gotten something else. But, like, I can't believe that we were like, okay, you go by yourself. Like, go sit in the restaurant by yourself. Like, whatever. But she sat there eating her Indian food, and every once in a while she would look up at us, and we would wave, and she would wave, and then she would keep eating, and then she'd look at us, and we would wave, and she would wave. Okay, so look for a video on my beauty channel tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!